Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. The city has started developing a master plan for Braemar Golf Course and for repurposing Fred Richards Golf Course. Braemar Golf Course will undergo a study to develop a plan of improvements to be made at the course. As part of the study, a stormwater plan will also be completed. Driving range and executive course improvements will continue as planned. A task force will be created consisting of Edina residents and members of the Park Board to select a consultant to develop the master plan and direct the process.
Braemar is 50 years old, and we want to invest in the facility and the course, but we want to invest wisely. We want to make sure that what we do doesn't have to be redone. So we feel like the master plan will help us to strategically prioritize the short and long-term improvements that Braemar needs to be successful.
A master plan for the Fred Richards Golf Course will be developed by Schoenbauer Consulting. They were selected to also lead a public input process and to complete a reuse study. The goals of a master plan are to be compatible with adjoining land uses, sensitive to environmental concerns, and connected to adjoining properties. Both plans will be reviewed by the Park Board and City Council and will be completed this fall. The thought of genocide happening in Edina is almost unimaginable, but at a recent presentation at Edina City Hall, survivors of genocide reminded residents of the subtle way being a bystander can lead to atrocities. Edina 16's Dietrich Nissen stopped by the event and spoke with Holocaust survivors about why they think no one stood up for them.
At the age of 9, Raisa Gringaus witnessed something that has haunted her whole life.
We were staying in line, and one of my aunts, 23-year-old girl, was taken from my hand, placed in front of us, maybe in the distance like now, I'm sitting in front of you. This was the distance. And a German officer was taking out his handgun and just shoot without any emotion in front of us. After the shooting, it was shoot a lot of people then, he gave us a command and we were quiet. It was a silence, like silence of lambs, absolute silence. Then he was commanding us to get these killed people and put them in the graves.
Before that, German soldiers raided her family's home.
Now I may have nightmares, and I do, and I remember all of these things, like Germans are going through our little house, taking everything away, and Israel laughing and telling, you don't need it, next day you will be dead, so you don't need it, you don't need clothes, you don't need towels, they took everything.
At the time, she wondered why others were allowing these things to happen. But then this idea dawned on her.
People sometimes are thinking, it's not me, it's not me. Maybe if I will be quiet, it will not go to my...
It's not easy. It's not easy to detect early signs of hatred. But we just have to talk about it. We just have to say, what does it look like? What does it look like in somebody's school? What does it look like in some community? And as a community, we can really do something about it.
Iris Tsefrir is the daughter of a Holocaust survivor. She says community discussions like this Days of Remembrance event encourage residents to examine bullying and discrimination, both precursors to genocidal ideology.
You know, Holocaust doesn't start from some large decision to extinct people. It starts from saying something is wrong with them, something is wrong with everyone that is the same, like that of a certain color or a certain religion. And it starts from words of hatred and it grows to action of hatred.
What I think is the people of Edina are doing excellent thing to start this type of event. People need to know, and the young people who are growing now, who don't know nothing, but they still experiencing bullying, They need to know they need to stand up against the bullying, against discrimination of minorities, because it goes on and on and on. Don't be quiet. Stand up.
At Edina City Hall, Dietrich Nissen, Edina 16.
If you're interested in learning about local human rights issues and the Edina Human Rights and Relations Commission, visit www.edinamn.gov. A long-awaited sports dome will soon become a reality for Edina athletes. The City Council approved the first of 2 bid packages for the sports dome, refrigerated ice rink, and East Arena improvements. The sports dome will be located on the north side of Braemar Arena. The first package was awarded and consists of the site work, ice sheet, and roof foundations and dome fabric. The city is currently accepting bids for the second package, which includes the remainder of the project, such as the dome foundation, electrical work, landscaping, accessory and storage buildings, and renovations to the East Arena. The project will include a domed artificial turf athletic field, an outdoor refrigerated ice rink, and replacement of the East Arena's refrigeration system at Braemar Arena.
We're hoping that our sports dome is going to be the best sports dome in the Twin Cities metro area. One thing that's going to make our dome unique is that it's going to be a lot wider than most domes. In fact, I believe it's going to be the widest dome in the state of Minnesota. We're going to have the ability to run games in the north-south orientation and a very wide field to be able to run games in the east-west orientation as well. So we'll be able to accommodate more users at one time.
Work on the site began in early May. The $12.2 million project is expected to be completed late this year. Thanks for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.